Hello, yeah, I'm wearing my wristy today because I hurt. I had to give myself a wrist support. This thing's got metal in it. That was my sock. But the thing has an actual metal in it. There's a splint. It's heavy duty. Yes, my wrist hurts. How does this work? There's metal. I mean, the instructions look like you slide it in yourself, but this looks like it's already in situ, so I'm not gonna mess with it. Maybe you can add to it. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty nifty. It's got a hand cushion here. So yeah. Today was all right. My wrist hurt, and I was doing the sweeping most of the day, so that was fun. It's alright. I was just basically like, take all the time you need. Don't worry about it. It's just, as long as you're out there, you're doing, people won't mind. I actually slightly mistimed it, so himself might come in through today. So that's going to be interesting. But I need to get it done out the way quickly because the other interesting thing that happened today is somebody screwed up the rota. Basically, the regular boss, the charge hand who normally deals with the rota for full-time staff and temporaries, is off, and every time he goes off, whoever's supposed to be doing the rota doesn't. So I didn't get my text at all to say what time I'm working, or if I am working tomorrow, which is unusual. Certainly think it by the time I normally get it. And then one of my other colleagues, another temp agent, didn't get his text, but he's from a different agency, which is why, like, if one or other of our agencies hadn't texted us, then maybe one or other of us wouldn't need to come in that day. That's normal. That happens. Neither of us got any kind of message. So that's someone else. And to make things more interesting, the temporary guy who normally does the morning shift, the 6-2, is doing the 10-6. So Muggins here decided to volunteer for doing the 6-2 shift because if someone's not there in the morning, that means that somebody's going to have to be called in, and it's just going to be a whole extra layer of faff when they don't even know what's going on with the first layer of faff. So that's fun. So I'm a bit tired. Actually, I'm not really good at doing these early starts, not only because I hate getting up at that time of the morning. I've got up at I've set my alarm for 4:15, start at 6. So not only do I hate doing that, because who likes getting up that early? But normally trying to get to bed for that early start usually means I don't sleep because I'm terrible at sleeping. I've always had insomnia. That's why I'm such a night owl. Is because I at a very youngish age, well, teenagery, but I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna be not sleeping anyway, I might as well do something. I might as well just be up. I might have actually, thinking back to yesterday's video about Elise Keaton, I may have gotten that from an episode of Found Times where Alex had insomnia, and Elise's advice was like, well, enjoy the night, read a book, do some extra, whatever, just chill out and relax or whatever. Just if you're going to be awake anyway, don't stress it. And I think that's kind of some advice that I've kind of absorbed. If I didn't remember watching it, I probably did remember watching it, but I don't remember. I remember taking that in. And so, you know what I mean? It's like wisdom. Like, oh yeah, this is a philosophy I've had for however long, and you watch things back. It's like, oh, that's where I got it from. Ah, cool. So yeah, I think that's might be what I've done. Like, I watched it and thought, oh, okay, fair enough. But at that time, I probably wasn't suffering from insomnia, or at least not as bad as I am now. And it's not so bad at the moment. It kind of comes and goes. I think the insomnia has been combated by the fact I just don't go to bed until really late, or really early, depending on how you're defining it. So yeah, basically I think, even though I don't normally get to bed till late, today shouldn't be a problem for sleeping. I was already clocking out on the sofa. So, should we see if we can get the question in before he wakes up, comes in and disturbs the video flow? Alrighty then. What is today's question? Ooh, would you rather live in the city or the country, and why? So I have lived in this is a fairly big town. This is considered a big town. I've also lived in a small town, and I've lived in a village, tiny little village, and I have technically lived in a city. Peterborough is counted as a city. For the purpose of this question, I think they mean a more built-up city, like somewhere like London or New York, or I guess even somewhere like York, or even Salisbury is it's pretty. Salisbury's pretty. For the purposes of England, specifically, a city is defined primarily as somewhere that has a cathedral in it. And Peterborough has a cathedral. So yeah, I've lived in a city. I lived in Peterborough for 2 years. I lived in the village, Gillingham. Okay, they're kind of spelled the same name, but one is the one in Kent, which is this way, and one is the one in Dorset, which is that way. So you want to make sure you get the right one. So yeah, I've lived in Gillingham for 14 months. So 2 years in a city, year and a half in a village, and the rest of the time between a big town and a medium town. Where I was living in the city was quite suburban. It was a estate. Where I was living in the village was next to the main high street, which is like 5 really quite cute shops and a coffee shop. And then like opposite me literally was a field, like a tiny little train station. I think it might have even actually only had one platform. Like they had to time the trains, so like they had like runoffs, I think. So I think you had like the one line, but it would literally go straight away into its own entry or exit line. So it would be here, but then it'd be like switch track. Maybe it did have a second platform. I'm just misremembering. But yeah, so pausing 1 second. Yeah, sorry. He is up and walking around now. I think I like country life more. I've always thought, you know, like I said before, if my numbers come up, I would get a house in the country. I would live somewhere that's a bit quieter. I really liked the village, actually. It was a very sweet little place. The people were nice. Like I said, it was near Salisbury, so you can still go visit a city, and that's kind of what I have in mind, is like get a nice place in the country that is still in the home counties, so I could still go visit London. Peterborough is alright. I didn't mind living there. It's got a really nice town centre. Obviously got a lot of history. It's not as built up or as industrialised as somewhere like London, but I don't know if it's as old as London. So what I want to live, I didn't mind living in Peterborough. Peterborough was alright. Not sure I want to live there again. I definitely don't think I'd want to live in London or even in the suburban areas. Just because it's a bit too crazy. I like being like here with like literally 2 stops from London. It's like, it's nice. I'm London adjacent without having all the chaos and stress. So yeah, I think I'd like a nice place in the country. You know, nice little cute little village, very picturesque, but close enough that you can, you know, that you'd have your little village, but then like it'd be a big town, so we'd be, you know, across the way or something, and then obviously you'd still have within reasonable spitting distance. I was going to say shouting distance and then spitting distance, and that went wrong. But a reasonable shout of London, because I still like to be able to go to London, and like, if we're talking I've got enough money to buy a house in the country, then I've definitely got enough money to start going to theatre more often. So yeah, I would probably go country rather than city. Anyway, he's getting up again, so thanks for watching. You've been awesome. I've been Michelle. You've been listening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!